Uh, 21 years old, went to my first rehab. I was smoking so much crack, I didn't really even know who I was anymore. I was having a really hard time coping with life. So I checked myself into a rehab, a 28-day rehab in Petersburg, Virginia. And I learned a lot about the disease of addiction in there. It was quite an experience. You know, looking back on it, I really wish that I would have done the things that they asked me to do in there when I got out, because when I got out, I hung around the same friends, I got the same job back, and I was using 3 days later. It started out with marijuana, then drinking, and then I was right back to the crack, like instantly. So my mother finally had enough, and she kicked me out of the house. Like, I had been on my own a couple different times, but it never really worked out because I didn't pay bills very well or anything like that. I went to live in a shed for a while that this girl I met in a bar, she let me sleep in her parents' shed. She was 17 years old. I was 22 years old by this time. And I basically took her hostage is what I did. And I tried to mold and shape her into what I think a woman should be and all that stuff. And needless to say, that didn't work out too well. But, however, a year later, I got her pregnant. We ended up moving in together, and we had a child. And I really tried to clean myself up at that point, you know, by myself. Like, I wasn't going to go back to those meetings with those people, and I didn't have that kind of problem anymore. You know, I was going to be a social drinker and, you know, live the big dream and all that stuff. Well, that's not really what happened. You know, I continued to abuse cocaine secretly. I was smoking marijuana on a daily basis. The marijuana maintenance program was, I felt, working for me well. One of my best friends was murdered for $20 in a pretty bad neighborhood here in Richmond. And it made me see some things that I otherwise might not have seen in myself, but I still wasn't ready to quit. That wasn't enough for me, you know. Obviously, there's a lot of chaos and junk that happened in my life that I could write a book probably, you know what I mean? Like a lot of us could. But anyway, April 3rd, 2002, I'm laying in the jail cell once again. You know, and as I always say about this, you know, I'm sitting there literally staring at boogers on the wall. There's nothing but a urine smell in there. I'm in the drunk tank with probably 35 other people, and I'm laying there and I'm like, how did I get here again? Why is it that I keep putting myself in these situations? How is it that I can change this? And I said to myself then, I said, I got 3 options here. I can either run and just get the hell out of town, or I can change, or I can just end it. And you know, I've tried to commit suicide a couple times, never had the gumption to go through with it, but I was actually contemplating it again. Once again, here I am thinking about ending this hell I call life, you know. So anyway, I was thinking, change, run, kill myself, you know, and I'm like juggling that in my mind, and I'm thinking, man, it's probably just as easy to kill myself than to change or live a life on the run, you know, because I know people that have done that, you know, and it didn't sound fun to me.